Let's go to Jill in Cedar City, Utah. What's up, Jill?
Hi, Dr. John. I'm so honored to be speaking with you.
I am more honored to be talking to you. What's up?
I'm a little nervous.
I am too.
I appreciated that last call. I, too, sing in a band, so I can relate to a lot of that. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you so much. So what's up?
My question is, how do I show up for my kids and my husband through this transition phase that we're in and not get so exhausted? So I guess you want a little backstory.
I could just start throwing answers at you. They'll probably be incredible. But yes, some more context would be helpful.
Okay, so I got married in November. This is my second marriage.
Okay.
We don't live together. Thank you. We live 30 minutes apart. So half the time I'm home raising my kids, doing all that stuff.
Why don't y'all live together?
Because the housing market is so high here. We're just kind of sitting and waiting. Well, and it's also because I have 5 kids and their whole lives are right here and they have to go to school here. And he's got a ranch where he's at. So we're just not sure how to meet in the middle. But there really is nothing coming up for us.
You get that, you've put yourself in a pretty tough position to be successful, right?
Yeah, I'm working 3 jobs at home to try and make ends meet where I'm at. And I do enjoy those things.
Is your husband not, like at some point he has to decide, y'all have to decide, are we going to move these 5 kids to the ranch? And we're going to do this life thing together? Or he's going to get somebody to take care of his ranch and he's going to move into your place, y'all's place? Or y'all are going to sell both things and move to Texas? I don't know. I don't care what y'all are doing, but you got married and then y'all just kept living each other's independent lives. And I guess y'all get together for weekend hookups or whatever, but like this isn't a marriage. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a marriage.
No. Well, I mean, it just set out of the gate without being a marriage. Y'all went and got a certificate and had a ceremony, but like y'all aren't married. Like his money is your money and your money is his money. And his kids are your kids. I mean, y'all are in this thing together.
Right. Yes, that's how it feels.
It is. So what's the holdup?
I did offer to move there and travel with my kids back and forth. But he wanted to keep one of his bedrooms for his children, for his son to come home when he wanted to come home. And the house is really small. I'm in a rental. He owns his place.
Jill. I'm assuming that no one's told you what I'm about to tell you. And you know, if you've listened to this show more than once, that I will never lie to you, okay? But this isn't going to work. You don't marry somebody and let them rent a house in another city so that you can have an extra spare room for your kids whenever they show up. What a mess.
Yeah, the other thing that's making this really hard is he has anxiety and depression. And I'm trying to show up for him.
That is off. I could care less about that right now. That isn't the other problem. Y'all have created a completely disconnected existence from one another, and you're calling each other husband and wife. You are no more married than me and, I was going to say me and Kelly, but me and Kelly are more married than y'all two are. Right? She's like within 10 feet of me. I see her every single day for hours on end. God help us all. And I'm just kidding. But you know, see what I'm saying?
Yes,
just your language. He doesn't want me in his house. It's y'all's house. Did you sign the prenup that the ranch, you have nothing to do with the ranch?
I'm not on any of his financial things.
I know, but you're his wife. If he died today, you're the wife. It goes to you.
Yeah, it goes to his ex-wife, his life insurance and stuff.
What?
That was in his divorce, that until his last child support payment, his life insurance goes to his ex-wife. And I think the state would take his home and land and stuff at this point. So we've talked about it several times. He hasn't really given me an answer.
Okay. Okay, listen. I am very I'm real big on, somebody called earlier in this show and asked me, their husband had cheated on them a couple of times and asked me, and my answer to them was, what do you think? So here's what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you what do you think. I'm telling you, you deserve more than this. Y'all deserve more than this. And y'all are playing married in a tragic way. Your kids are getting a picture of this is what marriage looks like.
Mm-hmm.
This is how a man takes care of his wife. She works 3 jobs and rents a house in another city because I want to keep an empty bedroom. I mean, the whole thing is insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what this dude's trying to pull off, but I have a real direct heart. Like, what happens if he dies? I guess you go on renting a house and working 3 jobs, right? You're living a life. You are living the life that I tell people to get life insurance to avoid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How long have y'all been married? November?
Yeah.
So if I'm you, I'm only going to tell you if I'm you. I would say, hey, we need to talk. And I'll even drive out to your ranch. And by the way, I'd start changing that language real quick to our ranch. Ours. To our rental home. To our kids. This you and my stuff, your marriage will never work because it's our stuff and my stuff and your stuff. This is ours. We're in this thing together. That fine. He's got a life insurance policy for his ex-wife through some decree. Fine. He's going to have to get one on you. Also.
I started that process myself.
No. He's got to participate. Participate. He's got to lead the effort.
Okay.
To love his new wife enough to take care of her if he dies. So that's a small price to pay. You'll have to have a 3-month plan to unify your families. And at some point, you may have to look at him and say, is this ranch more important than your marriage to me? Because if it is, I need to know. Because then I got to make other plans.
Okay.
If you're keeping this ranch up, and it might be an incredible ranch. I'm all about ranches. I'm from Texas. I love me a good ranch. I would love to have one day. It will never be more important than my wife. I can't even wrap my head around my wife living 45 minutes away with 5 kids renting a house. I mean, it just sounds preposterous. You know what I'm saying? And here's what happens. Mm-hmm. This stuff happens step by step, quietly, and you start to think this is normal. And so hear me say, Jill, you're not crazy. This is nuts. Do you feel isolated out on an island by yourself?
Yeah, I feel.
You should, because you are. You are. And here's what I hate. I hate that this might end up in a really messy situation. I do. I hate you having to sit down and say, do you love this ranch more than me? Because I can't do marriage. We're just going to be married and just live in other towns indefinitely while your kids do whatever and my 5 kids. Like, that's just not how it's going to work, man. You got to have a plan to come together. And he might say no. Okay, so be ready for but y'all need to get in a room and you need to write down really quick what you need. You need life insurance. You need to live with your husband. You need to have your husband involved in your 5 kids' lives. You'll need to come up with a plan for working with exes. Y'all need to dig all that, go through all of that stuff and not just hook up on weekends. Is that fair? Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's fair.
I feel like I'm getting on to you, but I'm not trying to get on to you. I'm trying to like just shake the snow globe a little bit and let you see how bonkers this is.
Yeah, it feels bonkers.
Okay, because it is. So if nothing else, you called Yahoo with a podcast and a YouTube show to tell you that yes, you are correct. This is bonkers. This is bonkers. Now, as a part of healing, your husband may have to deal with his anxiety and his depression. 100%. That's done with connection, not hiding on a ranch. He may have to deal with his anxiety and depression. That's something he's got to decide as as a person living in the world, I want to heal from this. This is not something that you can just quote unquote manage or have to quote unquote deal with. That's not how he's going to heal. Okay. He's got to decide, I want to be a part of this. And then you can be a part of his healing plan, but it's going to have to be something he decides he wants to heal from.
So when he's around my kids, he's very impatient. I don't want to put him down because he plays with them and he's super sweet. But he gets really impatient really quickly and very critical.
Yes, yes.
His kids were kind of taken from him and don't have much to do with them. And so I think it triggers him to be around my kids.
So here's the deal. I'm not letting anybody who is going to be triggered around my children. And I realize this puts you in a strange pickle because you decided to marry this guy. But I'm not putting somebody around my kids. It's not safe to be around my kids, even if it's my new husband. And so we're going to have a conversation, you and him, about here's what it looks like when you're with our kids. You're patient and you're kind and you're gentle and you're fun. And we will slowly lean into accountability as we blend these families together. But I'll take the lion's share of the discipline as we transition this thing and slowly move it as the kids come to trust you and love you. And that only comes through presence and connectivity. Day in, day out, relationship. It's not this random dude who shows up every week to hook up with their mom and then goes back to his ranch. Man, what a mess. My heart's broken for you, Jill. I'm sorry. There's only hard conversations ahead. My hope is that you sit down and say, you have a list of your needs written out. I got to be safe. I've got to be with you. I've got to live in the same house as you with these 5 kids. I've got to have these things. This is what a marriage is, ours. I've got to be on the deed to the house that we're going to share together in case you die, so I have a place to live. So they don't ship it all off to your ex-wife. I'm your new wife. I'm first. Because I'm your wife. And we're going to start there. And my hope is he goes, oh, thank God. Will you walk with me as we untangle all this? Yes, I will. I'm all in. That's why I married you. But you got to know this conversation is going to be a risk because you might say, I'm not doing all that. It's too much of a mess. Let's come back in a year and whatever. And I would tell him, well, I'm not going to tell you that. I'll tell you, I wouldn't wait a year. That's what I'm telling you. Because I married you a year ago. I'm so sorry, Jill.